Hey everybody, welcome back to another book review. So this book review, I am reviewing the Land of Stories, or the start of the Land of Stories series. So I'm starting another series. I'm also reading two other books at the same time, so I know that's a little unusual for me, but one of them is more like a research project, so it's really not, to me, it's not reading because I'm utilizing it. And the other, I am still reading it. I'm still enjoying it. It's very slow. So I needed something a little bit more fast paced in this. So The Land of Stories is a book series by Chris Colfer from Glee, the guy that was Kurt on Glee. And so his first book in the series is called The Wishing Spell. And it was an interesting kind of twist on fairy tales. I like stories that are twist on fairy tales. I like twisting the traditional norm. There was a lot to kind of unpack within his story that I feel like he didn't quite get a chance to unpack in the first book, but I hope that he unpacks in the second book. Um, but basically, the series follows Alex and Connor, who are twins, and they are just like the start of any fairy tale. They're missing a parent. So in this case, they're missing their father. Their father was killed in a car accident. And so they're just kind of struggling. They're, your average 12-year-olds. But Connor, especially, is really struggling with the fact that his dad's not there. Alex is struggling because she feels kind of ostracized by her classmates because she is a complete book nerd. She knows all the answers all the time. And so they somehow wind up activating a portal into the fairy tale book that their grandmother gives them. And at first, you're just kind of like, okay, that was kind of random. But then as the story goes on, you start to definitely get an understanding that Alex and Connor probably have a connection to the fairy tale land and the land of stories. Um, I liked like I said, I like when stories kind of twist the fairy tales a little bit or twist them from what you know. So the cool thing about this is um, that the fairy tales were in the story, they're adults now, and so all the fairy tales that we know and love, um, they're always told in the girls are like between 16 and 20, or they're still very young kids, and so you get to see them as adults and they talk about their experiences as adults, and they're dealing with adult problems. Which I thought was really cool. And then, not to spoil anything, but Alex and Connor have a very strong connection to the land of stories, and so finding out kind of what their exact connection is was pretty cool. I liked that little twist at the end. I kind of saw it coming. As the story went on, it was very obvious that they were clearly connected to the land of stories. It just wasn't obvious how they were connected. And the connection I thought they were going to have was not the connection that they wound up having. But it was still pretty cool. So I liked it. I gave it a 4 um, because I felt like, partially because I'm an adult, I felt like some of the writing was definitely meant more for kids. But I also just felt like there was several things that were just kind of dropped in there, not really explored or expanded upon. And I don't know if they'll be expanded upon in the other books. It is a series, so I hope that they're expanded upon. And I was just looking up some information about the author, and it looks like he has another series that's out as well. So, and I didn't realize that. I actually found these books when they were cleaning out the library at school, and so I snatched them up really quick. But so I got the first series, but apparently there's a second series, and I bought one of the books in the series, but I bought the second of the series. I did that with two different series at the book fair. I was like, oh, this book looks good, and then discovered it was the second book in the series. So now I have to go find the first book. Um, but this one I have all the books already, and I'm excited to kind of see where the story goes. Um, it's definitely it definitely left you kind of wanting more and hoping that there would be more. So it's definitely open to that. And I also just really felt like this would be a really good um, Netflix, or your probably Disney Plus might be better, just because it's so geared towards kids. The story is. But I definitely think it'd make a really good series. It definitely lends itself to that. I am concerned though, because it is a retelling of a fairy tale, which there's a lot of retellings of fairy tales, and it's very, the first book is very similar to Once Upon a Time, in that it focuses on the evil queen from Snow White. Um, and so there's a lot kind of going on there that I felt like was almost identical to Once Upon a Time. So there was that little caveat, but outside of that, pardon me. Outside of that, I thought it was a pretty good series. So I'm excited. I'm about to start book 2 in the series. And I'm hoping that I'm going to finish the other books too, so you guys can hear about those, especially because some of those books, like I said, are research books that I'm super excited about to get to share with you guys. So that is the end of this book review. As always, please shoot me book ideas and suggestions. I know the pile near my bed is getting big again, which is cool. So I'm trying to work my way through, and I am still playing around with the editing software. The one that I went with, I don't hate it. It worked for the first book review I did, but when I went to do the last book review that I posted, it decided to act all sorts of crazy, and it was like zooming in on my face, and I didn't want to post that. So I'm still messing with that. So I do apologize that the videos are not as edited as I would like them to be, but I'm just excited to share these stories and these things with you guys. So look forward to our next book, and shoot me all those book suggestions. Thanks so much.